Good afternoon, Council.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Dear Council President Payne, Council members, I'd like to humbly thank you for giving me and the community the opportunity to speak before you.
Sir.
I know this body is beat up sometimes. Sometimes it's justified, but overall it's unjustified.
Excuse me,
As
sir.
a legislative branch,
Sir, just put
Tracy
your name
Rogers.
in. Thank you. Okay.
Tracy Rogers, 3111 Summer Street.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay. Which is held responsible for the daily operations. As elected officials, you should be given the respect just as each of us expects it in return. I'd like to address numerous issues I find disturbing with the city. First, let me give you some information about the group I'm associated with, Newark One Voice. The package to be handed out would explain our mission statement in relation to the city of Newark. The group consists of residents, clergy, and professionals in Newark. To simply explain, we come together to find solutions and problems that plague our community. We can consider the think tank that focuses on issues of safety, education, government transparency, and community empowerment. I would like to sit with any members of the council and administration who wish to discuss these issues in further detail. We would like to happily make arrangements. My number and email are on the profile. Second, I'd like to comment on the special council meeting on June 26, 2012. The comments made by Councilman Baraka, Councilman Sharif, embodies why we started Newark One Voice. We feel the city is in crisis. The administration does not understand working with you creates transparency issues, also confusion, unjust harmony in the community. If we could paraphrase both councilmen, they want residents to rally for what's right, get rid of the rhetoric, and find solutions to a better Newark. What we have seen for the last few years are ingredients that do not promote a better Newark. We're in a highly technical age where residents are viewing the council meeting today. I feel it is very disingenuous that the mayor does not have a residents' weekly update meeting and a residents' hearing just as the council does to address the concerns as the council does. But the mayor has time to start a media company, but I got an idea. Update your residents in Newark first. That's your job. The next point I'd like to address is education for the children in Newark, which is at a pivotal low stage, and to the city compounding the problem by allowing the libraries to close on Saturdays and Sundays, and most weekdays by 5. What kind of message are you sending to our children in Newark? We need to make challenges of getting corporate sponsors, universities, and county support to keep this institution open. My third point is that at the last council meeting, there were 2 service contracts voted on. The first to pick up tires and another for sanitation. The question was asked, can we find anyone in Newark to pick up tires on our city? The question is yes. It is very disheartening to see that the contract could be given out to a profit corporation with no ties to the city, where no residents will be hired to perform simple tasks as picking up tires. Newark has many community programs, such as IYO, that mentors to at-risk Newark children. I believe they can have performed this task, help create much-needed funding for their programs and jobs for our youth. Putting this program in their hands would have been physically responsible and community empowering. I'm a youth. I use fiscal responsibility strongly because there are times when contracts need to be farmed out, others that should be retained by the city or responsibly handed out to minority and community set-asides, such as the sanitation contract that calls for a $5 to $10 million budget expense. Director of Neighborhood Services spoke at the last meeting and said he would love to keep it in-house. Because of the capital expenditure cost, he couldn't. But if you examine the numbers, it would be in Newark's best interest and more cost-effective to retain this service. Newark's fleet of garbage trucks are an embarrassment. You can smell them before they reach the block. They're breaking down all over the place. If you take $2 million from the sales of the property as Prudential and buy new trucks, you can replace an aging fleet, which will save, decrease mechanical costs, increase efficiency, and increase revenue to the city, and save $4 million over 5 years. This is fiscal responsibility. Next issue is the watershed. I'd like to thank Bill Chappell for the group they have brought to the table about the watershed. I have put my blame to a situation in relation to our recommendations to the fact to remove the watershed from the oversight due to inconsistencies in their business practice, wasteful spending, and disrespect for authority. One of the board trustees is a former council person holding a seat that should be held by a standing council person. The large amounts of contract given out to Newark residents are over $40 million in contracts that do not hire Newark residents. The city is trying to validate a contract the state deems invalid as an NUS no-bid contract. The mayor's special interest reaping benefits from watershed revenue and contracts. Inefficiencies and irresponsibility of the watershed. An agency that is galled to file a lawsuit to bar the city to show just cause, to see its records. The integration of watershed consultants overseeing the Newark watershed. Newark does not have the capital to take up an ambitious program of overhauling and fixing assets. So I ask that you put in about bids as the state statute requires, with a management agreement for 3 to 5 years with a company that will hire trained Newark workers to fix our own asset, keep our control, own our own water, no MUA. More details of this issues are in a package that will be explained by my colleague Herb Glenn of We Care, who is the next person to speak.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.